Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Leaders Dojo Change Makers Edition. This week, we had to switch it around a bit because today is actually supposed to be the episode where we talk about leadership issues, and it's the fourth Tuesday is when we talk about when we talk to change makers. But I had to switch it around this month because my surprise guest is only available on the 26th. And who's the surprise guest? It's a surprise. I'll let you know at the end of this show, right? So stay tuned. If you have any guesses, please put it down on the chat box. Meantime, let us know where you are coming from. Thank you very much again for joining us, and let us know where you're coming from so that we can say hi to you. You can see Vimala is online. Hi, Vimala. Glad to have you here. And we had a conversation with I had a conversation with Vimala on was it Saturday or Friday? Oh gosh, see, the days have gone by so fast. I was just telling Azleen before the show. I don't know when the time has gone, and I was a little bit flustered. You can see my hair is a bit, and my shirt. But no worries. We are online now. Everything is safe, and we are going to carry on. Okay, so let us know where you are so that we can welcome you and say hi to you. Meantime, let me just introduce myself. My name is Chee-Seng, and I'm a writer, content writing trainer, and thought leadership expert. And this show is all about leadership, communication, and branding. That's the core of this show, what we want to talk about. And the Changemaker series of the Leaders Dojo is basically I want to talk to people who are making a difference in the world with what they do. And I'm very glad to have Azleen with me tonight. Azleen Abdul Rahim actually has made a difference in my career path a couple of years ago, and I can testify to that with what he's doing with marketing in Asia. All right, so so tonight, if you have any questions about what he's doing and how effective he is and what vision he has for what he's doing, please do drop it in the chat box and let's have a conversation together. Hi Chimin. Hi Vimala. Chimin, always glad to see you here, man. I was just telling Azleen just now, I'm very sure you're gonna be here because you never miss you never miss a show. That's amazing. Hi Anne, glad to have you join us. And Danny, great to have you. Welcome. So let's make this a conversation. I don't, as you all know, those who are regular, we don't have a very rigid form. We just want to have a conversation together. So I'm having a conversation with Azleen. I want to invite all of you to join the conversation together. Drop in your comments, drop in your questions, and let's learn together about what Azleen is doing and the difference he's making, and what how we can support each other in this. Okay, so without further ado, just let me start the show officially. Hi, Azleen.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you
You have
feeling
a
today?
very nice video. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I like the music.
Thank you very much. I paid $60 for it, so it's good value for money.
No wonder. Okay. It's very engaging. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I can
I
feel
liked it
the
really.
energy. Mm.
Yeah, and it was really nice. I went to this place called Render Forest. Just pick the template, put in the pictures that I wanted, fill in the text, and done. And pay money. That's it.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So Ian, hi Ian, glad to see you here from Manila. Welcome. And Line not stable, Danny. Okay, we get it. No worries. Vimala says hi.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get the show started. Maybe you can start off by uh, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Who are you as a human being?
Hmm. I am 49. This year I'm going to be 49 in October.
What? You're
Uh,
49?
49.
My goodness.
Yeah. How, I think
You do not look like 49. You look like
soon,
30s, late 30s at most.
soon. I am 49. I stay in Shalam. I'm suffering from external introvertness. So I don't really, I'm not into, meeting up, people really.
Okay.
And I'm very comfortable with my Mac. I write. I don't do a lot of content, but I love to help, people to distribute their content.
Hmm.
So my objective when um, I've been a marketer for the past, I think I graduated 1997 from UUM. So it was quite a while, I think 20 odd years. And I've been in this marketing industry, I mean, all my adult life. Yeah. And my passion is actually is into helping people to market their stuff, basically. Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is what I do. Yeah.
So how did you fall into this passion of market? Did you graduated in marketing?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
I mean, if you are, I mean, if you're an introvert, not many people would choose marketing as a major, right? So what
yeah,
made you?
I have this story. When I was studying, all my friends they have girlfriends. Okay,
Hmm.
and I don't. I don't. So I have all these my friend there who are like me. We are like rockers. We own a bike and we are a bit wild at that time. And I was thinking, how do I get a girlfriend for myself?
Hmm.
So instead of I go out there and hunt for one, uh, we make them come.
Oh.
How? So we created one we created one shop, okay, and we came up with this idea of renting out novels.
Hmm.
So this is like a soft spot for girls, lah. I mean, at that time, at that time. So we okay. UUM is in Kedah, okay, very far inside the
Hmm.
jungle. So we went back home for that semester break. We asked for 1,000 from our parents, and then come back to the college, and then created this shop, and then go to Penang. Go to Chaurasta. On top, there's used book
Hmm.
floor where all the dealers are there.
Hmm.
So we bought a lot of stock and then come back.
Yeah, 1,000 those days can buy a lot of second-hand books
Oh,
already.
a lot, a
Satu
lot, a
dua
lot.
ringgit only one book.
Yeah, true. So we ran out one book about 4 ringgit. Okay.
Wow, he's
Yeah,
killing.
and
What a
the girls
killing.
like queuing. The girls like queuing, very
Wow.
long queue. But at the end of the day, after 4 years, every all my friend and I still no girlfriend. Okay, because the crowd is a wrong target market. It's a wrong target market. Okay, because we were hunting for the nice, beautiful, but all of them are really taken. Okay,
Oh.
okay, by the boys who has cars, good bikes, and we are left with the bookworms. So, but one good thing happened was that we are able to sell the shop for 40,000.
Wow.
So four of us, everybody get 10K when we graduated.
Wow.
So
One
that was a
thousand
good
percent
experience.
return, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
So yeah, so with that money, I bought a car and then I start my first job in Sapura. yeah, that was my story, like, basically.
Wow.
So that
So
is my first marketing gig.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that's quite a story, man. To
Mm,
while still
mm,
in university, I mean, studying
mm.
marketing and actually getting real life results.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my
Ishan,
story. Mm.
hi Ishan, glad to have you join us.
So I started my role as a marketer in my uni days. In my uni
Yeah,
days.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm sure after that, first lesson learned is identify your target market properly. Then only design your marketing plan.
That one, really the hard way lah. Really the hard way.
Caroline,
Mm.
interesting. Yeah. Hi, Caroline. Glad to see you here. Okay, let's
So
dive into our first serious question, but not so serious lah.
mm,
Okay. Okay. So I actually invited you on the show because I want to talk about MIA. So I did mention that MIA made a difference for my career growth, right? And just a little bit of background on that lah before we go on. When the MCO first hit, uh, I was just starting trying to do some personal branding on my own. I didn't know how to do it properly, whatever. I started my website in August 2019, and I didn't know how to build it. And when the MCO hit in 2020 March, then I realized, hold on, I need to, really up my personal branding game because there's going to be a lot of, based on my experience last time, um, the comms budget will be cut the fastest when bad times come. So I was thinking, oh, I need to build my network, I need to build my credibility fast now, right? And so I had written a couple of blog posts and I submitted one of them to MIA, and I think that one was the uh I can't remember exact title now, about writing viral content,
yeah, yeah.
right? And then I submitted a couple more. So that one really gave me credibility, because once I submitted those and I started to post it and share it on LinkedIn, then I was like, wow, you got published in Marketing in Asia, right? So the name carries weight, lah, right? Because
Mm,
it's targeting a regional audience, and it did get some good attention from audiences around Asia as well. So and that really helped, you know, contribute to the launch of my journey in personal branding,
yeah.
right? So my question for you leading up to that would be, um, how did you come about the idea for MIA, Marketing in Asia? What motivated you?
I sent I think, proposal. It was a couple of articles that I wrote. One in Malay and two in English. So I send it to the English one. I send it to the Star. I send it to the New Straits Times and also Malay Mail, asking them whether they are keen to publish or not. And after a week, they replied and they said no.
Hmm.
And the reason they gave is that my quality is average. I said,
Hmm.
fine, fine. But the Malay one was accepted by Utusan.
Hmm.
So I became their columnist in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I wrote for them for 5 years, but in Malay. Now the
Hmm.
English one, I was a bit taken aback, because the story that I wrote was good,
Hmm.
but maybe my English is not so good.
Hmm.
So I said to them, fine, okay, I will create your competitor. So that's the real story. Okay. So I created this. It took me 6 months to come up with a name. Okay, because I need to have a very good name. And we were toying with a lot of names, a lot, like really a lot. Because me, at the time, I was with my former partner. His name is Faiz. So we came out with a lot of names, but end up with this marketing in Asia.
mm,
And the inspiration of the name comes from tech in Asia.
mm,
Yeah, so that's the story. So when we created this, the main intention is actually very simple.
mm,
We believe, I believe that content creators are really brilliant people. They spend time. They spend a
mm,
lot of time writing from their observation, from their reading, from their experience. They put everything they have uh, on this on their note or maybe on the paper. Okay,
mm.
to reflect what they have experienced, and these are good stories. Some people who design, who can create such a great design, do great videos, but no one is seeing it. No one.
Mm.
um, okay, where do they put? They will put in two things, in two places. One is in their own website, where almost nobody is coming. Two is on social media, where their follower is only like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 11,000, like that, and that's it.
Mm.
So I think there should be a better way. And the other way, the better way that I was referring to is to come up with something like a food court. Okay,
Food
like,
court.
yeah, food court. Because I look at the website, it's like your own shop, like your own cafe. So where you need to market your cafe, you need to do promotion, you need to do some shouting out. You have to do it alone,
Mm.
right? But when we have a food court where there are a lot of stores, and each of these stores they're going to do like a very small timer kind of effort.
Mm.
And if you look around in Malaysia, like a food court really kecoh, right? There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people because there are a lot of varieties of food. When you sit down, you can order from this stall, and you can order from that stall. So if
Mm.
you are an owner of one stall, right? You you try to do some small marketing, and you get to have some customer, and they come to eat at your store, and they will order their drinks from somebody else. Same goes to them. They
Mm.
will go to that store and order from your store.
Mm.
So I am looking at this concept, and that is how YouTube make money.
Mm.
Okay, okay, YouTube, if you look at their ranking, they are ranking number two in the world. They are
Mm.
ranking number two in the world because there are a lot of good content in there. Yeah, of course there are some noise here and there, but
Mm.
they put a channel where everybody can really market themselves, and there are a lot of traffic. Okay, because of
Mm.
this small effort by everybody. So this is where I came from.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's really interesting. And Faisal, yep. Thank you for creating the food stall. Let's say hi to a few more people. Honey has joined us. Hi, Honey.
Hello. So
Cheryl is
basically,
here.
that is the whole story. Basically,
But why would you imagine this as a kind of like a food court kind of concept? Because uh, media is normally that's not how you would play the media game uh, as a media, lah, right? YouTube is a user generated platform,
mm,
whereas as a media, as a publisher, you would normally want to be have that control, lah, right? The
mm,
editorial control, especially. So
mm.
what made you think of the this food court concept?
If you, I read one article from this guy by the name of Naveen Jain. He is a US citizen, but from
Mm,
India. He was observing how the car industry is currently being disrupted by this Elon Musk, okay, by
Mm.
Tesla, and then space industry was also disrupted by Elon Musk, by Richard Branson, by this Amazon guy, right? And
Bezos,
if you look, yeah,
Jeff
Jeff Bezos,
Bezos.
yeah. So if you look at these people, they are not from that industry, right? Now
Mm.
they are the internet fellas. So they
Yep.
go to this industry and disrupt the entire thing because they are questioning the very foundation of the industry. So I
Mm.
am not from media. I am just a
Mm.
marketing guy. So
Right.
when I want to go into media, I'm able to see the loophole somehow because I'm not from the industry.
Yep.
So I changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I did it basically.
Yeah, I
So
think that's a great learning there as well, because a lot of disruptors, they're actually not within the industry, right? They come in from outside because they see a gap, and they're actually going to fill the gap lah, right? Like
true.
our local guys, what's his name, Tony Fernandez. I
Mm,
mean, from the music industry to aviation airline,
yeah.
that's
True.
like totally different, right? But
Yeah.
but I guess bringing a different perspective into it.
Yeah. He understand where we lack. And the best part of AirAsia is that they want to tap into this. We are not able to pay like 2,000-3,000 for one ticket just to go to Penang, or two
Yeah.
to three thousand just to go to Singapore. We are willing to pay, but not that kind of money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
Hani says, I think MIA has managed to help so many small names become big. And I think it's very true, right? Because, I mean, where else are you going to get a food court that's Asia size?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
Now I have about 2,500 small stall.
right.
I've created the space to cater 1 million.
Mm,
So I'm hoping that there are 1 million people who come and upload their content and see if their content can be approved or not. So we are looking for those really quality stories, really
so,
quality
so,
content.
so you're going to be the YouTube of Asian content creators and thought leaders, lah.
I hope. I hope.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That is the vision. When you told me 1 million, I'm thinking like, wow.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'm thinking like, right. So how are you going to manage this kind of crowd? Then I realized, yeah,
It's
like YouTube, lah, YouTube.
Yeah. So what we need to do is actually to come up with a lot of tools at the back where it will automate the whole process. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's not going to be easy. We are hitting a lot of walls here and there, trying to experiment here and there, and hopefully that within this 1 or 2 years, everything is going to be smooth. Hopefully.
But that's the disruptor's journey, lah, right? Because
Mm,
nobody is doing what you're doing.
mm.
So you're the first one. You make all the mistakes on behalf of everybody else that comes after you, lah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Faisal, MI gives me a footstool to pull out my thoughts and observations. Yeah, exactly, right? So
Okay.
okay, so I need to discipline myself to say this as a video creator. So if you have a question or comment, let us know what is on your mind. Drop it into the comment box, right? Thank you for all of you who have been commenting and so far. If you have a question, do subscribe. I mean, do drop in the comment box. We want to keep it as a conversation, and do click subscribe and share this great conversation with your friends. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So if you like these conversations, do click subscribe and share. Keep the conversation going, because the intention of the show is to actually have these great conversations and make it bigger, right? So that more people can learn together. All right. Okay. Promotion over. MIA gives me support when I was starting out my stall. Yes, exactly. Yeah, right. All of us, I think many of us in the comment section have the same experience. Okay, my
Yeah.
next question for you would be then, um, why is it important to create a platform for specifically Asian content creators, right? Especially thought leaders.
Mm. I have experience uploading into Medium. Then I also have YouTube. I also have, there's a few others, but most of them are catering all the Western guys. Okay, you will see a lot of weird traffic coming all over the US or Europe, and I cannot monetize it. So I need to have a traffic that comes from this part of the world. Malaysia, Singapore, South Asia, maybe Taiwan a little bit, India, and also Bangladesh, Australia, where I can earn in a form of ringgit, Sing dollar, or maybe Aussie dollar, this kind of stuff. And okay, what I write or what our content is all about basically are all about Asia. And I believe Asia, I can convert them better basically. So I'm sure there are millions like me who cannot relate why those Westerners won't be able to buy my product. So yeah, that's why I just solely want to focus on Asia. And when I did that, I want all the Malaysian, all the local people who are running a business to go out there and get those traffic from Asia to their website, and you can monetize it. One. And at the same time, it happens also like some of the brand from the Western countries come to marketing in Asia just to go to Asia. So I did not realize this. Before, but now they are starting to see marketing Asia as a gateway to go into Asia. Slowly lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's always the advantage of having a platform, right? When you back to I think your original example with the girlfriend machine. So I mean, you create a platform with a target market in mind, and I think that has always been the marketing experience, right, throughout the ages. When you have a platform with a specific target market, there will always be people who want to come and get on the platform to reach their target market, right? So
yeah, true.
yeah, so okay, say hi to James from the middle of the sea. Welcome.
Hey,
Respect
James.
you joining us from the middle of the sea. Thank you, James. Very important question here from Honey. How do you keep yourself looking super young? Right, my original question right at the beginning of the show. So
I need my morning fix. First I need to have one is cafe tarik, and then Thursday, Thursday, and nasi lemak bungkus.
oh,
Yeah.
that is like the standard Malaysian breakfast lah. Not
I have a
Malaysian if you
Malaysian.
don't have this.
Cannot lah, Malaysian tongue.
Yeah. Okay. Real question. Who do you think is not your target market for this platform?
Those who are not a content creator. Because I cannot market their brand if they don't have any content, and they need to produce quality content. Yeah. So what do I mean by quality content? Is that it should start with the good topic, with a good title. Then when you have a good title, you are able to make them stop scrolling, right? So when you are able to make them to stop scrolling, what you need to have next is to have the description of that title. You see, when you have a title, there should be like one-liner kind of description, right? So you need to have that kind. It's the same description to explain about your title, but it has to be one or two liners only. Then, if the reader likes that, then they will go to your first paragraph, and the next, and the next, and then until
That's
the end.
right.
So if you're able to make them stay until the end of that article or video, then you have a quality video. So if you want to know whether you really have a good quality video or maybe article, you make them to contact you or comment or like, so there is a signal of a good content, basically. Mm.
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 Okay. Caroline has a question as well. Very inspired to know how you notice gaps and seek to improve it. Where do you draw inspiration from, and who are your favorite thought leaders or authors? Nice.
I always look up to this guy. His name is Guy Kawasaki.
Mm.
Mm. I
The
think to me,
video instructor guy. No, no, that's another
no,
one.
yeah,
No. Sorry, mistake.
ex Apple evangelist.
Yeah. Okay.
Now he is a chief evangelist for Canva.
Mm.
So that guy is a good marketer, but he's a little bit laid back. He serve. He spent his time with his family, but his way of thinking is the one that really attract me to get to understand how really how you can humanize your marketing game. So that
Mm.
is my first inspiration,
Mm.
my first and only, I think. Yeah,
Oh.
of course, I read about Steve Jobs. I read also about Satya Nadella. So my
Mm.
books are all non-fiction. Are all
Mm.
non-fiction. So I read about Sir Alex Ferguson. So I read all this. So I look at their mistakes. I look at their success stories and how
Mm.
I can adapt myself to that kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just noticed that everybody you mentioned is Mak Saleh. It's
No
all
Asian.
Westerners.
No Asian.
Yeah,
Uh,
so and I
I
think
think.
that's where the gap is, right?
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
talk about except for Guy Kawasaki lah, but he's technically
Yeah.
American also lah,
Yeah. American.
right?
Yeah.
But I think that's where the gap is because if um for Westerners to cross over to this part of the world, no problem,
Yeah.
right? But what about this part of the world? We can't even cross over to ourselves,
That's
which
right.
I think that's a huge gap there, that
Yeah.
you are adapting. You are addressing lah.
Yeah. There are a lot of people like them here in this part of the world, but there are no stories about them. So here we are. We want to expose ourselves, and
Mm.
this is where I created this platform basically just for us to really take
Mm.
advantage of. Mm.
Yeah. Okay, Vimala has a really good question. Can you share who in Asia, right? Who in Asia who can step into those shoes, right? Vimala, step into those shoes as a thought leader, as somebody who's really leading the conversation.
Uh, I think you can be one of them, Vimala. Yeah,
Who? Vimala.
Vimala.
Yeah, okay, there you go, Vimala. Our conversation that day, this is
Mm.
affirmation
Mm.
already.
Mm.
Vimala and I, we were talking about
Mm.
having doing something together with a few other people to
Yeah,
expand the
because
network.
social proof.
Yeah.
Okay, what we are looking at here is actually called social proof. So this social
Mm,
proof or some sort of like validation,
mm,
it must not come from us. It must not.
mm,
It must come from a third party, right?
yeah.
But how do we trigger that?
Mm,
There's no freaking
exactly, right.
way. Yeah. So there's no freaking way. So the only way is to upload our content and share our thoughts.
Exactly, right. Nobody is going to invite you to be a thought leader. Nobody's going to invite you to why don't you become a opinion leader, right? You have to put something out and people follow. That's why it's called a thought leader,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm, mm.
Uh, hold on. Okay. Faizal says Johan Iwan Kamruzaman and Rizal Aziz. Oh yes, Rizal Aziz. Uh, ha 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 ha. Thank you.
You also, Faisal. You write good
Yeah,
story. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Bimala,
It has to
Hani.
come. It has to come from a third party,
Yeah, exactly,
and
right.
and I don't see any other platform except those medium, Substack, and also Monkey
Correct.
Nisha is one of them. Are those brand, or you can also do guest writing. You can also do guest writing to another platform that has a high DA, high what you call as a domain authority. So yeah, so high DA means they have lots of traffic, hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of traffic per month. So these are the high domain authority that you can send your content to. That's why I
But
send to this
normally,
stuff.
that kind of media with that kind of traffic, not that easy to go in lah.
True.
So for those of you who are still thinking go into marketing in Asia now, while it's still new, you still have a free voice, because next time when it's like Forbes or whatever, you got to pay to go in. Okay, those people who are carrying. Sometimes you see people, I'm a Forbes contributor. Actually, no, they're not a Forbes contributor. They paid to be on the Forbes council so that when they write, they can say I'm a Forbes. I know I write for Forbes, right? So, yeah. So get in now, get in now, and start establishing yourself. And I agree with you, Azleen, because as a person who writes thought leadership and who promotes thought leadership content marketing, you cannot declare yourself a thought leader. You totally cannot, right? Because you can try, but whether people will acknowledge you as somebody they want to, follow as an opinion, that's a totally different story. So you only become a thought leader when you put out content, you put out opinions out there that people want to follow, right? So it's actually a very, very organic thing. It's not something that's given, it's not something that you declare for yourself. It's not something that you create for yourself.
True.
Right, it's something that you have to contribute into the market, into the world, right? And when people find value, then you get your followers and you get your acknowledgement lah.
True. And the
Right.
followers usually started in a very small group. So you be able to notice the same name, the same face that is coming to your post and like. So first we'll see like 5, 6,
Yeah,
10, like that. Then slowly, gradually as you go along, they start to see the real you. Then you see more likes. They'll see more comment. Same
that's right.
same faces and new faces.
That's
So
right.
it will evolve. It will evolve. So that's why
Yeah,
if you look at the large brand out there, it took them
mm,
20 years. Starbucks, long
mm,
queue, McDonald's, long queue. It took them 20 years just to be at, where they are
yeah,
today.
yeah. And I think we have
So,
such a great opportunity with digital channels now. Last time, if you wanted to be a thought leader, you had to like work donkey years in the industry, or if you didn't work donkey years in the industry, you got to have like some amazing success story, and then you got to get noticed by a media who will invite you, give you the privilege to be on their media, right? Those were the
yeah,
days.
yeah,
Now the opportunity is, well, just open your LinkedIn, start a blog, whatever, and just start writing, just start doing videos. And if you have a good opinion to share, you will get your followers, right? And then the media will chase after you. Then the opportunities will chase after you.
correct.
The democratization of opportunities lah. This is incredible opportunities that we have today.
Mm,
Right,
true.
Ian Santos, thank you for partnering with us in our maiden search for Philippines top 30 leaders on LinkedIn. We are promoting marketing in Asia as well as all our posts and digital collaterals. That
Thank
is
you, Ian. Thank you,
amazing.
Ian.
Yep. Vimala learning so much today. Yeah, right. This is a great conversation. Which reminds me, I need to do my next promo. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to discipline myself, right? I just realized I can't do videos without doing this. Right, if you enjoy these conversations, please click subscribe on the YouTube or my LinkedIn or Facebook channels, and share it with your friends, right? Share the goodness, share the great conversations. And if you want to keep up with these conversations, not missing a single one, join the Leaders Dojo LinkedIn group. I'll put a link up in the comment section later. All right, that's where I will notify you guys about the upcoming shows and who are the guests coming online. Okay, thank you, and that is done. Okay, I promise I'll get better at this. I don't have to verbally speak it out to remind myself. most platform to get on is like, yes, right. This is incredibly difficult to get into KLCC. Somebody told me it was like what 25,000 per stall. How
Oh
many nasi
man,
lemak you got to sell
uh,
to to earn back that kind of
yeah,
rental, right?
doesn't make sense.
It makes sense if you have that kind of that kind of cloud lah. Okay, so
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about your journey building MIA, especially as a Malaysian taking a regional lead, right? And I'm always
Mm.
fascinated by these kind of stories where Malaysians going regional, Malaysians going international. So let us know a little bit more about your journey.
My journey started off with the brand. The intention is not to be seen as a Malaysian brand. The
Mm,
intention is not to be seen as the South Asian brand. The intention is to be seen as a large brand that
mm,
comes from the Western world to this part of the world and grow. So that is our positioning.
mm,
But at that time, it was 2017. The ideation comes somewhere in June. June, I was sketching paper on the ideation, da 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 da. Then we got a name, and then we start to create a firm structure in
mm,
December. So February 2018, we launched it using WordPress that we bought at $59.
mm. This is called
And then
bootstrapping, right? $59 USD.
bootstrapping big time. Okay. So when I started, I already prepared close to I think 20 or maybe 25 articles on
Mm,
my own. Uh, I think it was very low, but slowly, week after week, we start to gradually increase it. Then I start to reach out to some of my connection on LinkedIn
mm,
to invite them to start to upload. So that's how I started. But the big milestone came when I somehow published. There were 43 names that I want to recognize as a thought leader on LinkedIn in
mm,
Malaysia. So at that time it was I think 2018. After that, then the traffic started to come. Oh,
mm,
so it was like May. I think it was May or September like that.
mm,
When we published that, then there are more traffic. Then when there are more traffic means I can get more content creators.
mm,
So then it was like chicken and egg. So I grew chicken and egg together.
mm,
So that's how I started. And then we started to receive media release from Malaysia, from the region. And today, okay, after 4 years, we are now on board brands like, for example, Shutterstock in
mm,
US. We on board brand like Lucasfilm,
mm.
also into marketing in Asia.
Wow.
One of their subsidiary of Lucasfilm. So that kind of brand who wants to come to Malaysia, who wants to come to Asia, so they come to this platform first.
Wow.
So we are continuing onboarding this kind of brand on a large scale.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about the mindset uh, of going building a large brand, lah, right?
Mm,
Because I've worked with I've done branding workshops with Malaysian tech companies before, and these are very capable companies. I really look up to them. Really, really good solutions they're producing.
mm,
Right, very innovative. But at that time, it was initiative by Bida, the Bumi Putra IT Development Authority, something that I can't remember. And they were trying to encourage these companies to scale internationally, and they realized one of the key things they needed was to have the brand, right? Because the brand walks in front of them, right? But as we try to workshop with them about building their brand, I just realized that a lot of Malaysians, and I think not just Malaysians to be fair, but a lot of people who are within their local market find it very difficult to think about going outside into the
Mm.
bigger world. So maybe you can share with us, what does it take, right, in terms of mindset, in terms of thinking. What do you need to how do you need to think differently in order to play this bigger game?
You need to think going global from day one. If you think of going Malaysia first, and then next you want to go to Singapore, and then next you want to go to Thailand, then next you want to go to Indonesia, then it won't look good. Okay, because you start to come out with all sorts of name that is meant for Malaysia because you want to start in Malaysia. And then when you want to
Mm,
grow, if you want to grow to Singapore, then you find that your name is not suitable. Then you need to change your name, and
mm,
then or the whole entire effort is going to be completely wasted. So
mm,
the plan that they should do is that they need to think of going global from day one if they want to do it. If they want to go beyond Malaysia in the future, they need to think of it from day one. Then they are
mm,
able to plan the phases of their growth from day one. So that's
mm,
what we do. So we started off thinking of going global, going Asia from day one. So that's why we started off with that name. It took us 6 months to come up with that
mm.
name. It's not easy, Even name, oh, I tell you, 6 months, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you have the right name, it carries weight. It carries a lot of weight. When it carries weight, you are able to attract trust better. And when it comes to branding, we want to make sure that when they want to buy something that you have, they will think of you first. So that is actually
Mm,
branding.
mm,
Mm. So when you want to fly to Langkawi in the next few months, you will think of AirAsia first. If you want to if you want to buy sports shoes, you think of Nike first. If you want to
mm,
go for coffee fix, then you go to Starbucks first. Then you
mm,
realize, there's another brand. But you think of Starbucks first.
mm,
And if you want to travel, then you think of Airbnb first. So that's how they play.
mm,
So if you don't think of doing something like this in your branding strategy, then
mm.
it's going to be tough. Then nobody will think of you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Faisal says those like Padini and PDI Group, however, got it right. Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't think many people realize these are local brands.
uh, yeah,
um, which is actually, I feel the other side of the story is Malaysians don't appreciate local brands enough, lah. I mean, but that's another story.
that one quality. Yeah.
Honey says there's always a fear of going big for some reason. What's your advice for just starting on this journey of branding themselves? I think that's a great question. Thank you, Honey. I was also going to ask something very similar.
It goes back to your process. If you are able to put yourself in the shoes of your customer, then you are able to visualize the journey when they are going to deal with you. So when you're able to visualize the process, then you are able to see, these are the things that I need to do, that I need to prepare, that I need to make sure that I am going to take serious about it, and
Mm,
put some tools or whatever.
mm,
Like when I started, marketing in Asia, up until last year, it was only two of us,
mm.
and nobody knows. Nobody knows it was two only, and it's local kampong guys. Okay. Nobody knows. All they know that marketing nation, that's big, So it's like that. So we actually did not lie to them, but it's their impression.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So your that means what you're saying is your process has to be scalable right from the start, lah. I mean, to use the modern words, lah. Right.
Yeah, you
So
need to identify your target market.
mm,
Then once you identify each of this group, you need to visualize how their process going to be once you onboard them.
Mm.
So you have to take note of these processes,
Mm.
then cater to these processes. I mean, with your
Correct.
own way. Then you're able to I mean, grow your brand. I, I I
Mm.
think as per your pace, basically.
Right.
But still going global. You can still go global, but slowly work on those processes.
Mm.
Mm.
I think honey might also be, uh, asking another aspect, which is the the mindset. Where do you get the courage to even start thinking about going global? Because in my own experience, I'm actually designing an IP of my own,
Yeah.
right? And but I realized that this IP is very niche. So if I want to just go in Malaysia, it's going to be very difficult, right? So the only way to make it sustainable is enlarge the market, lah, right? So if I
Mm.
enlarge the market, then I got to go regional, right? Got to go Southeast Asia or Asia.
Mm.
And I remember going through that thought process.
Mm.
Malaysia too small, lah. How? So a lot of people at that point will be, yeah, cannot be done, lah, right? It's not doable.
Mm.
But to understand that, no, we want to make it doable. We have to enlarge the pie, right? And that means going out. And I remember realizing that the moment I realized that, it was like, oh no, can I do this or not? Right? There's this feeling there.
I think it is Asian. Uh, we have this, after being, after the British came, the Japanese came, so we feel like, we are not that worthy.
Hmm.
There are more people that is more capable, and we don't stand a chance. I don't think we have a good chance. Why don't you
Hmm.
try first? Uh, either you try, you never know. Yeah. If you're not able to cope with that, then you can admit, defeat. It's okay. But what
Hmm.
if you are winning the game? You are
Right.
losing out. You're losing out. So don't think too much. Just think of a way how to win this. Rather than think of like, oh, this one cannot, or this one cannot. No. Why don't you think of a way, come up with a strategy that I think I'm gonna win this if I were to do this.
Hmm.
Change.
Yeah, yeah. And
Uh,
and 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 I totally agree with what you said just now. Why don't you just try?
yeah, try first. Uh,
Yeah,
you'll never know.
and
I did this also because I just want to give it a shot. Because my parents were both teacher.
mm,
He's a primary school teacher,
mm,
and they live very moderately. It's like a robot. Every morning wake up, go to school, teach people, and then come back, eat, and then do some extra work, and then sleep, and then continue. I
mm,
cannot do this. I cannot.
mm,
I
mm,
cannot. I cannot do routines. That's why I left Siemens in 2010.
mm.
I just cannot do this. Wake up, do this. Go back, earn money at the end of the month. I cannot. So why don't you give it a shot? So I gave my shot, and who I did not even realize that I'm gonna be at this kind of stage.
Mm.
Mm. Give it a
And
shot. Who knows?
and I think you brought up a very good point. It actually reminded me of my past year's experience as a education guy, right?
Mm.
For those of you who don't know, I used to teach learning program for almost 25 years. Yeah, almost 25 years. And the unique thing about this program is, we don't the teaching method is not standing and delivering content, right? Most teaching is like that. We stand at the front of the classroom and we deliver content. But this program, what happens is, we want to actually get the kids to be self-motivated to do their work, right? The point is to bring out the potential of the kid and help the child themselves realize how much they can do. And one of the key coaching points is when the child is stuck, right? Because we want them to be independent. So a lot of it is about encouraging them to self-study. So when the student is stuck, we don't go in and teach them what to do. One of the key point is, why don't you try this? Why don't you look at it this way? Why don't you uh, just think of one more step instead of trying to think of the whole process and get to the final answer, right? Just think one more step. Okay, if you can do that one step, you've done this already. Okay, great. Now, why don't you think of the next step? And what you said really reminded me of that, because using this method, what we always consistently notice, children get more and more confident in their ability to do something because they figure it
mm,
out themselves,
mm,
and they were brave enough to try, even if it was just one more step. They couldn't see the whole, they couldn't see where the entire calculation was going to take them until the final answer, right? These maths.
mm, mm,
But if they could struggle and just finish that first step, and then they could struggle just to the next step and to the next step. After that, oh, I've reached the answer already. Okay, I'm ready to go for the next one. Right. So yeah, what you said totally reminded me of that. And I think that is great advice, because I've seen it happening in so many students throughout the years. And I think all of us can apply it back into our own lives, right? Just sometimes it's just a matter of just start, just try. You get stuck, okay, don't worry about the end game first. What is the next step
yeah.
that we need to take, right?
You will forget about this once you earn your money in Sing dollar. When you see money coming into your Stripe account or into your PayPal account in Aussie dollar, you think, this one easy. I
Ah,
should have done this early. Ah, really, I'm telling you, you should give it a shot and get some low hanging fruits out there, because whatever that is being required in this country, out there is even bigger.
mm,
Mm. What you are doing now, that you think that, okay, I'm doing this for the sake of the local market because they need this. If you hit Indonesian market or if you hit Vietnam market, imagine, they are bigger than Malaysia. That's why the global investors, they don't look at Malaysian at all. They look at three countries:
mm,
Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia.
mm. The three
Mm,
fastest growing one now, lah.
exactly.
Mm,
So imagine you are there, but you are staying in KL.
mm.
You every morning you eat apa roti canai nasi lemak and all, but you are earning in those money. I mean those currencies.
Yeah,
Give it
yeah,
a
yeah.
shot, lah. Hmm.
You eat your $3 breakfast, but you pay $1 sing.
Ah,
$3 breakfast, but pay $1
ringgit.
sing.
Ah, like that.
Yeah, that's great advice. So, ladies and gentlemen, like Faisal said, just give it a shot, lah. Sorry, like Azleen said, and Faisal agrees, just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Time flies. We are already at 9:30, and I think we just covered like three questions in my question list. But
yeah.
it's great. It's really great speaking to you. And I got to do this one more
Okay.
time. If you love these conversations, please do click like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Help them to learn these great points that we are talking about tonight as well. And do join the Leaders Dojo LinkedIn group to get reminders so that you don't miss out on these great conversations yourself. Okay, so final. What will be your three key takeaways for us tonight?
We have a lot of great, thought leaders here. We are having Vimala, we are having Faisal, Hani, we are having James, we are having a lot of people here who has a lot of experience, a lot of stories, that they it is being originated from their work experience, observation, reading, from the conversation. So all this needs to be shared. So how do you share it? You need to have an audience that is way bigger. Yes, you can cater for Malaysia, but you need to cater also for the region or maybe
Mm,
for global market.
mm.
Who knows? Who knows? You never know. You
Yeah,
never know who might call you and gonna pay you for whatever project that you're gonna get.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's
Okay.
one. And then number two is on the thinking. I think we need to stop. We need to stop limiting ourselves just in this country only. because the
Mm.
potential that we have can actually be catered to the foreigners. Our
I totally
English,
agree with you. I
our
completely.
English is as good as theirs.
Mm.
So I don't see a problem. The only problem that we are thinking at the moment is how do we cater it? Do first, get one, get two order, get three, get 10, and then slowly you will able to adapt. Mm. And then
Mm.
number three, you need to come up with quality content. It's not
Mm.
just any content. Okay, because at the moment I believe the world, doesn't need another content. No, they need to have a good quality content that they can learn or
Yeah.
understand. So
Yeah.
your content has to be educational. Educational as in extremely detailed.
Mm.
Then in your content you put backlink lah. You put backlink that they can click, goes to your website, go to your landing page, forms, maybe subscription or whatever.
So you need to do some kind of training about what digital marketing basics for
Basics
thought
lah.
leaders lah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of people will sign up. I think I will sign up also. Definitely.
yeah. Because
Okay.
Airbnb, I don't know whether you have read about Airbnb. Airbnb, they did a lot of mistake when during the pre-pandemic, they spent too much time and also money on social media and also on Google on the
Mm.
SEO. So when
Mm.
they did that, the traffic went down.
Mm.
But there are some traffic that come that is actually direct from the web. So
Mm.
when they analyze better, they found out that this comes from their quality content that they wrote.
Mm.
It's in a form of article or video that they put it in somebody else's asset.
Right.
So after that, in 2020 or 2020, if I'm not mistaken, they spent a lot of time to produce this kind of content. If I'm not mistaken, they created 500,000 content in that particular year alone.
Mm.
They park this content in their own website as well as 70% or 80% of this content is being parked in somebody else's website.
Mm.
Washington Post, New York Post, whatever, Huffington Post, some of the mainstream, channel. So when
Mm.
that happened, they are able to bring direct traffic from the internet. 90% of their current traffic now are direct. They do not
Mm.
rely on Google. They do not rely on social media.
Mm.
Mm,
Right. Yeah,
mm,
and that's what you know people like me, content writers, we always tell clients, right? It's not about, it's not so much about pulling people into your conversation now, right? It's not that anymore. And sales ads are really very tacky now. People don't like it anymore. So it's really about having your content make a solid connection with people, right?
mm,
Either through educating them, entertaining them, giving them feel good vibe, whatever it is, as long as it connects with people and it is able to resonate with what you want to do as an objective. That's it, right? That's where you get organic reach.
mm,
It's very tricky, it's very difficult, but it's a process that we need to go through and refine as we go along.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. So that is the end of our show. We're actually a little bit over time already. So thank you very much for everyone who's still with us, stayed with us, had this conversation with us. Thank you very much, Azleen, especially for
Welcome.
sharing your amazing insights with us about your journey with MIA and your vision with MIA, especially. And I'm totally on board, lah, right? Because having uh, and I really need to start publishing on MIA again. I've gone quiet for so long, right? So thank you everyone for being with us tonight. And before we go, thank you Vimala for your affirmation, amazing conversation. Yes, thank you very much, Azleen, as
Thank
well.
you.
Caroline, thank you
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Caroline.
Okay, before we go, I need to ask you a question. Who do you think our surprise guest is for next Leaders Dojo. Okay, I gave you a hint. She's a woman, and she's an award-winning actress, producer, director, and entrepreneur. Right. So, anyone, if you want to take a guess, type it into the chat box before I review. Okay, I give you like 10, 20 seconds. I'm very excited that she has agreed to come on the show because I did some work with her last year, and I'm just so blown away by this person. Being in the entertainment industry, you would expect glamour, definitely glamour, but she's also amazingly down to earth and a very, very good leader. That's the vibe I get from her, and I'm definitely sure she is a great leader to a team as well. Okay, any guesses before I reveal? Okay, I'm going to reveal in about a few seconds now. Anyone want to make a guess? No? Okay. So, next on the Leaders Dojo will be Tiara Jacquelina.
Wow.
So yes, and I did some work for her last year, as I mentioned, and I just get this amazing vibe from her that she just has this charisma, of course, but I think more than that, she has a great vision for what she does, and I've always admired her. Because I had this dream last time of, okay, I want to make the great Malaysian movie, right? Because Malaysian movies before Putri Gunung Ledang were like so bad. But when Putri Gunung Ledang came along, it's like, wow, what is this production value? This is amazing, groundbreaking production value. And so that was the really mind blowing for me, and I'm so amazed that we connected through LinkedIn and LinkedIn guys. So please start posting your thought leadership on LinkedIn, and you never know who's going to connect with you, right? So she connected with me, and I did some work for her, and I'm so glad that she has agreed to be on the show to share about her vision for her businesses, vision for what she does in life. And I think this is a great question. Is it important to have a grand vision in business? Because I think right now, the popular thinking now is you need to have a vision, you need to have a purpose in your vision, in your business, right, in order for it to be sustainable. But in that case, how did all the other businesses in the past survive, right? People just started businesses because they wanted to make money. So let's have this great conversation with Tiara Jacquelina. And I invite all of you to join the session as well. And yeah, just continue the conversation about these great topics that we're going to have. So, and with that, I want to thank each and every one of you again, and Azleen for making time to be on the show. And I wish every one of you a very good night and have a great day tomorrow.